My name is Suzanne Benderitis. I'm a pastor here at Knox Presbyterian Church. And yesterday I spoke about a story from Luke chapter 10. It's a story about Jesus going to visit Mary and Martha. And Martha runs and gets things together in the kitchen, and Mary sits at Jesus' feet. Mary's not helping Martha. And Martha goes in and says, "Jesus, why don't you make Mary come in and help me in the kitchen?" But Jesus says that Mary has chosen the better thing, and says to Martha, "Martha, you are worried and distracted about many things." I have always identified with Martha more than Mary in this story, and I've always sort of resented that Jesus liked what Mary was doing better. However, what I love about this story is that Jesus sees Martha doing what she usually does, getting it all together, maybe getting caught up in her worry and distraction. And yet I feel like what Jesus is doing is interrupting her usual pattern. Jesus loves her and sees her and interrupts this usual pattern. I feel like this relates to something that we've been talking about at staff lately. There's a researcher called Brene Brown, and she encourages people to write themselves permission slips. It could be a regular permission slip, like putting it on a Post-it, or it could just be sort of an emotional or intellectual permission slip. But you remember those in elementary school, when you got a slip that allowed you to do something you don't usually do at a time you don't usually do it. Well, I feel like Jesus was doing that for Martha. Maybe Martha was a little bit like me, that she usually gets worried and distracted as she's trying to get all of her things done. But what Mary was doing was focusing on who Jesus was. And maybe what Jesus was doing was giving Martha permission to interrupt her usual mode, to pause, and to focus on him. I wonder right now if there are things we need to write ourselves permission slips for. Do we need to give ourselves permission to pause and to read the Bible, to hear God's loving voice telling us how much he loves us, that he wants us to pause? Do we need to write ourselves a permission slip to trust God in a specific situation and not to worry that he's got this, he's in control? Do we need to write ourselves a permission slip this Thanksgiving, not to be worried and distracted in the kitchen, but like Mary, to focus on our guests who are in the house, not trying to make things perfect, but to focus on the people God has put around us and appreciating them? I hope that we can learn, like I hope Martha did, to pause, to be interrupted and transformed by the love of Jesus, who is inviting us to hear his voice and to interrupt our usual pattern of worry and distraction to focus on God's love for us. You are not alone. God cares for you, and so do we.